All right, we're going to make some of these 5-point stars, and you can use these for decorations for Christmas or whatever. And you would easily pay $20 for something this size out of weathered material, but you can make them pretty easily. And I'm going to show you how you can cut these angles out safely on a miter saw. So a couple things you're going to need. One is this piece of scrap plywood with a 3/4 by 3/4 piece of stop material nailed to it. And another thing you're going to need is a clamp that I've modified, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. So basically, to determine the size of the star you want, you need to know the width here. So this one's 3 inches, and it makes about a 13-inch star. And this one is 1.5 inches, and it makes about a 7-inch star. So if you don't know how big a star it's going to be by the size of material you have, you can, for instance, if you have a piece of 2.5-inch material and you want to make a 5-point star, so the angle here is a 54 degree, so you'd set your square on 54, and then after you find center, and then you'd set your other side on 72. So then if you measure it there, that'll tell you how long it's going to be. So that's going to be right around 5.5 inches. So you would have to cut these 5.5 inches long if your material's width is 2.5 inches. So we're going to make one that's this size, and I've already cut out my blocks, and they need to be the same width and the same length for this to come out right. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, we're going to start out by setting our saw to 36 degrees. And that is the opposite of the 54 degree angle. So we're going to take our wooden fence and we're going to clamp it to the back of our aluminum fence. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and make a cut right here into this board. And we can use this cut mark to help us set up our stops for the pieces of the star. Alright, so we're going to use a block here that's cut at a 90-degree angle. And we're going to take one of our boards, and what's important here is finding the center. So center of this is actually a little bigger than 1.5 inches. It's about 9/16. So we need to mark center. Okay, center of this was just under 13/16. Just over 3/4. So we're going to use our cut mark to help us center it. And we're going to attach this stop with a screw once we find center right there on that cut line. Okay, so that's going to help us line up. And something else we're going to do is add this clamp. We're going to add this clamp right here to help us hold this thing in place. I'm just going to set it up right there alongside that stop. Okay, so now we can set this in here and clamp it, and we don't have to get our fingers too close to it. So we can go ahead and cut these angles. And then flip it over. Okay, we're going to cut all 5 of these, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, we got all 5 of them cut, and now we need to do the opposite angle, which this one is a 72-degree angle. So the opposite side of that would be 18. So you set your saw on 18 degrees and lock it down. And now what we want to do before we clamp it back on here is we want to line this blade up with this edge right here. We don't want to get past it this way, but we want to get right up to it. So you pull your saw down until you are lined up exactly with that location. And then once you get that where you want it, we clamp this in place. Alright, so here what we need to do is put a mark here, because we're going to need this mark later, because you're going to lose the material that's going to be against the fence. So let's go ahead and cut this one. And then when we flip it over, you have to line it up with that pencil mark. And let the clamp hold it. And there we go. So we'll cut all 5 of these, and then we'll show you how to glue it up. So we're going to glue these together with some hot glue, and you can glue them with regular wood glue, but it takes a little longer. This is a little quicker. On the smaller stars, it doesn't have to be that strong. What you have to consider here is you need to be quick about it. Once you get it on there, you got to get it lined up. So what I usually do, because I know in the past it's been an issue, is I'll glue 2 of them together, and then I'll glue the other 3 together. And the reason I do that is sometimes the angle doesn't quite line up. And you can retrim this angle just a little bit. So if you put this against the fence, this is a 36 degrees. So you can literally trim this off just a little bit if it doesn't fit quite right. And this one's just got a little bit of a wobble. So it doesn't take hardly anything to get this angle off. And so we're going to trim this angle just a little bit. Okay, we trimmed this just a little bit, and it's got a perfect fit now. So we're just going to go ahead and glue it up completely. Hold that just for a few seconds. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole through here so it can hang. And you can put a hook on the back or whatever. But on the bigger stars, what I do is I'll put staples across the joint, or even a pocket hole screw if I feel like it's too heavy. But for these little ones, the hot glue is going to be plenty. All right, one more thing I wanted to show you. So on the clamp, what I did was, this is a 99-cent clamp from Harbor Freight, and I cut this off here, pulled this rubber off, and I drilled a hole through here and a hole through here. With that gone, you can screw it down to the board to help you hold something in place. So it was worth 99 cents to hold these small parts. Also, the same process works for a 6-point star. The angles will change. This angle, instead of setting it on 36, you set it on 30, and you would cut 6 of them. And then this angle, instead of putting it on 18, you would put it on 15 to make a 6-point star. So same process, and it works out the same way. So here's how they turned out after my wife decorated them. She did a good job. Very festive. Alright, thanks for watching. Be careful, be safe.